on the set. I'm just kidding. Ready?
Can't undo.
Can't undo. So,
Can't undo.
Can't undo.
I think we said it.
Song 3
Song 3.
on Hand in Glove.
Another great segue, I think.
So,
Nice dissolve.
although I know where the riff came from, why don't you say where the riff came from?
I want to hear your opinion of where
What
it
I
came
think
from.
it came from?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what inspired it, but I think that was you were out in Ohio.
Yeah, it was another. This is another Ohio writing sessions. Yeah, that added to the whole group. You know, the whole group of songs from those couple of days out there.
I thought this was one we already had written. We actually performed it.
I'm pretty sure. Because I remember
think
you
it was
guys
there.
had gone out to Ohio to do, I don't remember what it was.
It was a little duo
And-
tour that we were doing.
And he recorded some stuff in the studio. You basically were like, get in there and work.
Yeah.
And he came
maybe
back with a bunch of riffs
stuff.
and
And that riff
drums
was
and stuff.
created there.
I'm pretty sure, because I remember you coming back and playing it for me and John and
Yeah, at your house.
at my house, yeah.
But I think this was the first one we finished. Where we
Yeah.
actually started
Yes.
It was.
performing.
Because I remember being in Florida and you sent me the lyrics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. And we played it for our friend Mark in Ohio, who lent us his studio, and he was like, "Yes, yes, yes. That's. Do more of that."
Do more of that.
Yeah.
So any particular inspiration for that type of riff or the chord progression or anything like that?
I mean, I think for me it was sort of Allman Brothers ish. I think that's what was in my head at the time.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that it's not a completely. It is an established key. Of course, every song has a key, but this one kind of floats around a bit around the E major.
It's major and minor. The verses are like the minor and the choruses are
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
major.
So it kind of throws you off. You think it might be C sharp major. I'm sorry, minor, but that's the same as E major anyway.
Relative major and
Yeah.
minor keys. Yeah.
But I like the fact that it kind of throws you off a bit. You know.
Sure.
You guys like throwing people off.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a second.
Yeah.
and the end of the song is the same way too. I think that was John's idea. But
I'm not finishing it.
Yes.
No, that's enough.
Don't resolve back
You've
to
heard
the
enough
one.
of that one.
Yeah, you played the record one too many times. It skipped right at the end.
That's it.
So you're never going to hear the end ever again.
Ever again.
Never. Or it was an 8-track and I went click click. And,
No, that would have been in the middle of the song.
yeah.
True. It happens. So, lyrically, inspiration for the lyrics. What's it mean to you?
It was definitely a song for Aaron, really. You know, that was nothing.
Theme for the record.
Nothing that we can't
Little
do.
bit.
You know, when we being together and being, you know, full steam ahead, you know, husband, wife, partners, you know, there's nothing we can't do.
Or we said I do at our wedding, so we can't undo.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're stuck.
We're stuck. Thanks.
It's one way to look at it.
Yeah, sure.
I'll get to the performance stuff in a sec, but I have to ask a question that's sort of like the elephant in the room for people that I've played it for.
This is also the first
I know
song
what
on
you're
the
gonna-
record.
You know what I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
What's that again?
This is also the first song on the record that introduces keyboards for the
Yes.
record.
The
That's another
lovely
side
Matthew
note.
Wade.
Yes, the lovely Matt Wade on piano and B3 organ.
Yes. And it's really nice parts that he played. Really.
He did.
Yes, I love the piano parts.
He was nervous that the piano might sound too much like Bruce Hornsby, I think, or something.
No.
But I love Bruce Hornsby anyways.
Sure
or,
was.
you know,
But I mean,
and I don't know when you first heard the piano part, you were like, wait a minute.
because I'd gotten so used
what's
to
that
hearing the
doing there?
song. Because we'd been playing the song live.
A
This is
lot.
probably the one we played the
The most,
longest before
yeah.
recording it, right?
I think so.
So, you know, you get that established idea in your head of what the song sounds like, and all of a sudden I hear acoustic piano, and I'm like,
Wait a
hey,
minute.
wait a minute, that doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
It's an electric guitar song.
Who did that?
But no, that's definitely grown on me. And now
Me too.
it would be lovely if we had Matt live more often.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm going to go back.
All right. Well,
I started asking about I'm going to ask.
The elephant in the room.
no.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so there's a line in the song where you talk about if you're scared in the night,
If you're scared in the night, I'll use my kung fu too.
Okay.
And I think that's probably when has anybody used the word kung fu in a song
Outside
except
of
for
kung fu
fighting.
fighting? And that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's probably the only other one.
And I wrote it as a joke, just as a place filler while I was working on lyrics. And then after a while, I was like, actually, you know what? What the heck? Leave it.
It grew on you.
No, leave it. And
Well, I mean, it is fitting for you. Like
it is.
It definitely
for-
like speaks to you
to,
as a person.
Of course, yeah, for my years of martial arts studies and so it means something to me and it's the truth, I always have visions, putting my head on the pillow and someone's busted in the front door of the house and I got to get up and take care of business and that never happens.
Where's my pistol? I'll use my kung fu.
Yeah, I'll use my kung fu.
I use my kung fu too.
And there's a secret message in there, not from me, but from John.
Yeah.
Don't say anything.
I'm
That's
not-
for the.
I'm just gonna say that and see if you can hear it for yourself.
There you go.
'Cause it was a while that John put something in that part of the song, and I didn't even notice it.
Nope.
That's so funny to me that you didn't notice it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Now I can't not hear it.
Well,
I can't unhear
Can't
it.
undo.
I can't.
Well, I didn't have a gong, so I just
I know.
had to do something else.
We got to
Yeah.
get you a gong.
We do have
Yeah.
to get you. I told you we're going to get you one, but
Don't say how.
no, negative.
so I know when we recorded it that you intentionally held back a bit, like drum fill wise and things like that. I think the first couple takes we took, you were doing more busy stuff. And then the take that we ended up using, you made a conscious effort. I think you even said it to me when we were there. You're like, I think I'm going to lean back a little bit on this and not put so much in. Like, what made you think that?
Well, I mean, ever since we started playing the song, way before we recorded it, I had a hard time settling on a part. For some reason, this song, I had a hard time settling on the drum part, and I think I was trying too hard. I was trying to make it more interesting than it needed to be.
Yeah.
And at the session, we had this conversation, me and Lex. I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm trying to do here. I just gotta. I'm trying too hard, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play. I'm not gonna even
Yeah.
try, and that's what's on the record. That performance was right after that conversation.
And
It's
it
perfect.
works. Yeah,
It's
it works for the
perfect.
tune. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
we do play a bit of a busy riff anyway.
We do.
Right? It
But
doesn't just lay there.
it's also great that the three of us are always trying to push the envelope, per se, of trying to do something better with every part that we record.
Sure.
And sometimes, like John said, maybe less is the answer.
Yeah.
I think that was a good call.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I don't even know it's really less. It's just like I just was trying. I wasn't trying as hard, and what came out was
Just
you
a
know,
natural.
It's yeah.
Yeah. It's great, man.
I think so.
Anything interesting gear-wise or anything on this song? Anything different from the previous couple on the album?
It's a different amp for me. This one is a Trainwreck Rocket, which is a slightly different gain structured amp than the Trainwreck Express that I used on the first two tunes. So you can hear that the tone for guitar people out there is not as overdriven on this song at all, and the attack that you get out of that amp is different with how you dig in with your pick. It's a different thing. It's not night and day, but there's a subtle difference that I hear it. I can't unhear it, obviously.
That's
But
the thing.
I also like
Can't on here.
when Erin and I were talking about the song, since it was, a song for her, instead of it being like, her singing backgrounds on it, make it more of a, not quite a duet, but more like her vocals more pronounced than a normal background vocal would be, but not as pronounced as a duet would be, because it wasn't a duet song.
And that was something too that happened when we were recording the vocals. Like it was like a last minute thing. I was like, you know what? I think we need to approach the production of this a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I was like, the way the lyrics are and what it's about, and I was like, it makes more sense for it to be like a kind of like a wife singing with her husband.
Yeah.
And I think it works.
Well, your voices blend beautifully together. I mean, I'm biased
Oh,
because
shucks.
I hear you guys sing all the time. And this is the chorus is just the two of you, or is Leon in there too?
Leon
She's
is
in it.
in there, but it's very subtle, and we kind of did that on purpose. And
Yeah.
the only thing we do differently when we do it live is the trade back and forth at the end. I'm doing all of them rather than trading back with her, because it, like, production wise, I don't think it made sense for her to randomly be singing
Parts in there.
parts
yeah.
there, you know.
Especially with the lyric content.
Yeah, it made more sense for it to be like the two of us, and Leon's kind of like the support underneath.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Thickens it up for sure.
And again, no real guitar overdubs. That was a solo play.
No,
live
that was it straight through.
That's
you
a
know?
great solo too.
And
Yeah.
I didn't. There's a couple of things that I did punch in throughout the record, and we'll talk about it when we get there, from what I remember. But I know this was definitely not one of them. This was a one performance thing.
So it's just the three of us with Aaron doing, because
Scratch
I
vocal.
had to
Doing
do
scratch
the
vocals.
Yeah.
that helped us out though for reference the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that
It was
was
definitely weird singing Matt's parts though.
Yeah.
that was another thing we didn't talk about too. Since we did record everything live, we didn't do the vocals live. We actually got the chance to do them at home,
In the closet.
and yeah, using our closet for a vocal booth, which is great because when we're at home, we can take all the time in the world we need
Sure.
to do vocals, and we're not blowing through studio time, which is a lot of money as the hours go by. So, doing the vocals at home for us is wonderful, and we can do it at our leisure.
You got the
Yeah.
mics, you got the preamps.
Yeah, we got
Pro
everything.
Tools.
Especially since I was having like allergy issues really badly.
Yeah, at that
And
time.
I had to, in the middle of that, I had to go talk to my doctor and be like, why is my nose so stuffed up? I sound like I'm singing like underwater.
Yeah.
And he gave me some extra medication to kind of open me back up.
This was when you were doing the vocals, or
Yeah.
when we were in the studio?
And I was
home.
in the middle of us doing the vocals
Yeah,
at
at home.
home. And so if we were in the studio, I would have ended up with tracks where I sounded like I was singing through my nose.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that we did it that way, and I was able to go get that worked out so I could make them how I wanted them to be.
Sure.
Yeah, so that was the only thing that was done after the fact. But, as you said, you're like, man, I got to be in the same room with John. I have to be playing with him to cut these songs. And I highly agreed, and I wanted to be in the same room too. But talk about pressure, it's like that puts the spotlight on.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
I
I know what you're saying, but at the same time, I almost feel the opposite because
want that pressure.
Well, also, we play off of each other, right?
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
I'm going to play, what John is going to play, what you're going to play is going to change in the moment
Oh, yeah.
based on what's happening, right? So if I'm just playing to a recording, which I've done, right? We've done stuff even for this band where there was drums already down and then go in the studio and play along to that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it came out great.
You're locked into a part, which is, again, can be fine, but there's no room for that. Let's take it somewhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? It's like we can't add any extra measures. We can't add anything different without cutting and pasting things. But
No
And-
schmutz.
Well, then there's that whole thing about just we all affect each other in the moment. Like there's something that if I'm playing along to a bass track that's already recorded, it's like there's not going to be this spontaneous thing. Or like
No.
Lex may play something that he didn't, just an inflection even that was different than it would be like that can change everything.
Sure.
Change the
Yeah.
way it feels.
Definitely.
And you too, Matt. Playing guitar in there.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to cut things live all in the same room.
I mean, we're so fortunate to have each other, in under one roof of musicians that grew up with that grew up with, listening and idolizing people who did that, that like any other band. If it was a newer band, like tracking would be fine because it wouldn't matter. You're just you're composing in Pro Tools.
yes,
But we're composing together
Yeah.
as a unit, and I don't think there's a whole lot of bands out there anymore that are doing that anymore, but
No.
I don't want to live a day where I have to do the opposite. No thanks.
Yeah.
hear that.
And the records we grew up listening to, there are performances on there that aren't perfect. There's
No.
mistakes. There's things, but it just felt so right. They left it.
Yes.
you know?
I recently listened to Eddie Kramer who recorded Hendrix and Zeppelin and many people, obviously. And his advice to younger musicians was, don't take all those things out. Don't take all the mistakes out. Leave some of the stuff in there. It's supposed to be there. You're supposed to be a real you're a person. You're not a machine. It's not supposed to be sterile and everything's perfect and tuned and fixed in a nice, neat little box, and it's got a nice little bow on it and a nice, neat little, subcategory of music. It's like, who cares, man? There's two types of music. There's good and there's bad, and that's it.
Yeah.
Shut up and play.
Yeah.
Just trying to express some emotions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you can't undo that.
Nope.
All right, cool. So that's song 3.
Yeah, man.
That we all share, all the up and down. Does anybody really care? Just one you wanna give.